Hello? Whoa. Who's here? Not me. How do I stream? I forget. Blah, 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 blah. Nope. Not that button. Hmm. We're making some progress. Mecca, please don't cry. No one likes you. Oh, God. Hmm. Oops. Can you please stop? Like, actually. Can you guys just stop? Hello, it's been a while since I caught a stream. It's been a while since I've been a stream. Why is it so janky? What's happening here? Is it just... Oh, I know what's happening. I washed my, the mat that my computer chair sits on, so I'm just casually sliding away. So, like, there's no mat to keep us. We're just gonna drift away from the microphone constantly. Oh my god, it's so bad. Ursula's gonna figure out what I'm talking about. I'm sure. Unless she already knows. That's the button. How's it going? I'm waiting for AZ or Pigment to show up. Hey, hello to a Lil Sketch X. So let me adjust my glasses so that I can see what's happening. Do you like my cat body language shirt? Ursula was gonna donate it because she thought it was hers and it didn't fit. It didn't fit her booba. And she was like, well, I guess I'm getting rid of this shirt. And then I went through our stuff to like sort through it, and I'm like, what? I forgot I had this shirt. Basically, Ursula's a monster, is what I'm trying to say. Alright, yeah. It's gonna be a short stream today, because it's the critique stream. But there's not much to critique. I got Pigment, and I got AZ. I can probably just do AZ's up front, because it's not like there's much to say. That button. Wow, I'm a genius, guys. Yeah, it's the critique stream, which means we are gonna critique stuff that the satrons, the patrons sent in. And yeah, I got two things to go over. And one is by Pigment, and I have questions before I can really review that. When am I supposed to start the stream? How early am I? Minutes early. Can you add people so that they show up? What? Okay. Ursula thinks I'm psychic. We have a psychic connection, but it's not constant. It's like it's occasional, so like you can't rely on it. But she relies on it a lot of the times. Especially when I ask for confirmation. When I'm like, did you hear me? And she just stares blankly at the camera, and I said, do you hear me? And she's like, yeah, I did. And I'm like, could you say something? She should just start gaslighting me and say that I already said yes. Even though she definitely didn't. Ugh, I'm feeling so grummy today. because we had shawarma 2 days ago and I'm 30. See, I know when it's the spice that does it to me, Ursula. I know it. I put too much spice on everything. I was like, hot sauce and hot garlic, please. And hot mayo. and a ice cream scoop of garlic sauce. It just like comes off in like a huge dollop, man. Y'all know what I'm saying. Hello, Rumpeltyltskyn. I'm assuming that's what I'm seeing. YouTube has this tiniest chat UI. Video AI. But I'm getting my eyes tested soon, so maybe I'll be able to see again. It's hard being 12. I have been sightless for a long time. This has nothing to do with 30. 30 is why I have a floater in my eye that you gave to me. Contagious. I willed it into existence because I saw a picture of it and I was like, wow, it must suck to have those. And like the next day. Hi, Fado. My glasses exploded recently, so I have to get an eye exam too. Oh no. That's why I had an exam last time. Oh, hello. Hellar. Heltar. A Hellion Centaur. I haven't updated my prescription in 3 years. That's reasonable. It's like 2 to 3 years is when you're supposed to do it, right? You gotta get the eye pressure test where they like spit in your eye. Oh, that one's so hard though. They're like, keep your eyes open, and it goes. That one's not as bad as the frickin' dilating drops or whatever. My optometrist didn't inform me they were gonna do this. So like I struggled to get home because it was so bright because my eyes were so dilated. I'm so lucky I didn't like drive there because I would have had to like call someone. I just stumbled my way across the street, like covering my eyes. Eventually found a bus. Oh, it was the worst. And it hurts because they put like the stingy liquid in your eye. The place I go to doesn't do the air thing anymore. Oh, damn. Do they have like a new test for that, for the eye pressure? Maybe they do. Maybe my optometrist does it and I didn't pay attention. It takes a picture of your eye instead and it costs like $40. Wow. I have no clue. Honestly, maybe my optometrist did that because I did get a new one and I don't actually remember having to do the eyeball spit test. I never had the air blaster in my eye. My internet has been disconnecting in case I disappear randomly. Oh, okay. Maybe it's less common, but the air blast in your eye, I got it constantly. Isn't it for like glaucoma or whatever? I think that's it. Because of the outages, I will suddenly have service again, even though we ran out for the month. Oh. Okay. Goodbye, Ursula. Ugh. Oh, someone got caught. Nikki. Look at this thing.
What a silly thing.
What is this? What is it?
It's
You don't know?
me.
I'm sorry, I'm touching your butt. What's that? What are we doing? Okay, sit normal. Sit normal. You yell at me, but you're the one who sits weird. Calico Scourge. She's bagpipes. You give her a little squeeze. Oh, my bagpipes isn't working. Oh, she's purring. You're not supposed to purr. I'm harassing you. I love her. She loves you. Her name is Miku. She's a Vocaloid. Why are you working your paws? Ugh, she shouldn't love me. I'm so mean to her. She's an avid worm enthusiast. Yeah, give her the hearts. Oh, she is purring. Worm enthusiast, harasser, stalker, musician, pop sensation, iconic. Hi guys, how are you? We're good. I'm totally reviewing things right now. Oh, do you have something to say? Just purring? Okay. Aww. She harasses me in the middle of the night if I come down. Because, like, I come down here because I want to, like, lay on the couch so I can be propped up, right? When I'm, like, feeling, like, pukey. And what always happens is I'm laying there, and then all of the cats jump on top of my stomach. They're like, wow, hi. Like, please, you're killing me. They don't care. Okay, you're gonna have to go. I can't work under these conditions. Thank you. Hat body language. We can refer to this. Whoa. Oh my god, I can't stay close to the computer. I have to, like, hold on. Ugh. You know what? Ursula doesn't know this pain because she doesn't sit like an idiot. I have to have feet on the floor. I hate that. I'm just being pushed off. I can't fidget that. Nice shirt, thank you. There's lore. You can check at the beginning of the stream. You can get the t-shirt lore. Okay, I'm gonna start with AZs and hopefully Pigment shows up. They're like Cypress in the chat, right? Right? Yeah, okay. Thank you for confirming. The second time I asked. Well, I looked at you. I know you can't tell that I'm looking at you. Because you don't have peripheral vision. Oh, there's a cat. Wait, oh. Holding her up. Whoa. I dropped the cat. I'm sorry. I cannot sit with my feet on the floor. Yeah, same. Hey. Oh. Oh my god. I keep saying I'm gonna start with AZs and then like meander off. Okay. If you're gone, it's because your internet died, right? And the internet just doesn't work for anyone today, apparently. So it was a short chapter that you sent in, and it was short, and I read it. And I liked it, and it was good. Yeah, it's hard to say about pacing because it was just like a lot of disconnected stuff, I guess. A little disconnected, not too much. The meeting was good. It was good to see that plot progress. And yeah, it is interesting to see what's going on with Sarah and what your plans are. For some reason, I'm having a hard time vibing with Sarah and I can't figure it out. That's fair. Sometimes characters, you just don't vibe, even though they're like necessary. That's me and Aaron. um, I liked when all of them were hanging out. That was cute. Not just cute, like it was good to see all of that and the different little interactions and the little disabled squad. I think it was interesting kind of to contrast Sarah and I guess not even contrast, but like parallels between Rory and Sarah. I think those were interesting and good. While still writing something I'm having a hard time sticking to. If it's interesting as a reader, then I'm less worried. But I can't tell if it's dull to read. No, I think it's interesting. Character's necessary, but maybe I'm overthinking it. Yeah, I think you might just be in the weeds with it. Because it's all turning out fine. It all makes sense. It's kind of like important connective tissue, and she does make sense as a character to me. You don't have as much fun writing every character as you do with your two main. What is that word? Oh, blorbos. Okay. I definitely had a fun time writing the group scene. Yeah, the group scene was fun. Yeah. Well, it's good that you like your main two, because Aaron is one of my main ones. So, that's fair. Like maybe things felt a bit short, but I'm not sure. I think one part you mentioned being short was like the interaction between Sarah and what is his name? Des. I wanted to say Joe. His name is not Joe. Don't know where that was coming from. But like I think that exchange was kind of good being short. Because yeah, her and Joe. I think that works kind of being short between them because I don't know, it kind of matches the tension that's going on. All I want to know is if it's fun to read. That's more fun to read than it is for me to write. Yeah, it was good to read. Frickin' Joe. Yeah. Yeah, it's all just moving along. It's good. Yeah, I keep at it with Sarah. I think you're in the right direction with her. Yeah, and like the lead up to the person they're trying to set up Gil with, contrasted with the beginnings of his and Joe's relationship. Like, that's good. Sorry, Miku's being crazy. Definitely have fun writing this next chapter. Ooh, I'm excited. The next one I have assuming that's all I have to say about this. The next one I have is for Cyprus, and I read it, and I have a very crucial question to ask, because it changes how I approach this whole thing like entirely. So, so I hope I get an answer to this. Otherwise, I'll try to like generally speak in both directions. But I'm not sure whether or not what I'm reading here is a script or a prose thing, because it's kind of like like it's kind of like in the middle of both of them. And I think that like regardless of if it's prose or a script, it's got like a lot of telling going on, like in the sense of like it being a prose. If it's supposed to be a prose thing, the action comes off very script like. It reads kind of more like panel descriptions and not something that's more like has voice or whatever. Because like when you're writing a script for yourself, the voice and all like the stylistic stuff is gonna show through in the illustrations and whatever. Like that's basically the cleaned prose version of a comic script. But if it's supposed to be a comic script, then there's a lot of telling that I don't know how it would come across in the script exactly, because there's a lot of like explaining mental things that wouldn't be shown visually. So I'm not sure how that would go. And if it's prose, I think there needs to be a lot of I think you need to really smooth out things grammatically, specifically in terms of like tense and POV, where it oscillates between like past and present tense, and there's a lot of sentence fragments, and I'm a lover of sentence fragments, but like they're very overused and would work better like being brought into other sentences and combined. Like yeah, there's just like a lot of clauses that could come together, I guess, rather than being fragmented. Yeah, because like when I think about sentence fragments and like using them stylistically, I think they're really punchy and stuff, and like a lot of your fragments are a lot more they just sound like ends of sentences that haven't been connected to things. Right. And then yeah, because like you have a good story, like you have so much going on. Like I'm remembering. I think I read outlines of this. I read a lot. I'm sorry, but like I think I read outlines of this, and I am excited to see like how everything does end up playing out as a story. And it's like a big task, like the kind of story that you're writing. There's a lot going on. And I think it's going very fast. And it's a lot of big information. Oh, I'm here. I'm at work though, so oh, if you can just tell me if this is supposed to be prose or script, that would help. That's all. Because then I can pop off in the right direction and probably give more. It's harder to give like what's positive when I don't know like what this is for exactly. My first time making it to a stream. Hello, Mal. Welcome. Look at this dog. Wait, oh, I don't know how mirrors work. I'm holding him. Beto, I'm petting you. No. Oh no, there's a tail behind me. I mean, I guess that's where tails usually are. Oh, it was Meek the whole time. Mirrors are weird. They're so weird. Like... Sorry. You can tell it's a mirror... Wait. Is it mirror when you can shake your own hand? Yeah, mirrors when you can shake your own hand. Not mirrored is when you can high five yourself without like crossing. Right? Like if you shake, it's my hand. That's a mirror because you can like, hello, sir. Like it's proper. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So you can like sword fight your mirror. But if you sword fighted your not mirror, you would just not be able to counter anything. Is that correct? Because like every swipe... Isn't it the other way around? Is it? Because this is mirrored, right? Because like I'm raising this hand, but it's on this side of the room for me. Whereas if it wasn't mirrored, it would be on the same side. Like in a mirror, you can high five, right? I think you can high five in any direction because I realized after saying that you don't need to high five with the exact same hand. But the thing is, when you're mirrored, like it's not like a high five like this. It's more like this, which is not as great of a high five, is what I'm saying. I'm so confused. Mirrored and just a mirror. Yeah. Wait, which one is mirrored? Is mirrored when it looks like a mirror? Or is mirrored when you switch it from what a mirror would be? Ursula's gonna need to cut this out of Cypress's thing. I'm just gonna go on. I think they're busy working, so. Yeah. The second one? So mirrored is a mirror of a mirror? I need an actual mirror. That's why it's confusing. So it's not mirrored what I'm looking at. So I'm looking at a not mirrored thing, but it is like looking into a mirror. Oh my god, my brain hurts. Same? I don't know why I've started this. Here, I'm gonna hold up a little kitty face, and then Ursula can find where I start talking. More confused than I was before. Okay, I held up the kitty face, so I have to start talking about the thing again. A serpentine. But yeah, like I talked about the action. I think that internet kind of sucks though. Yeah. That's why text. Yeah, in a mirror you can't. Wait, you're right. It's not mirrored because I can read my shirt. Figured it out. Okay, that actually makes sense. So it's not mirrored. Okay. Thank you. Cypress, is your thing supposed to be prose or like a script? Hopefully you hear me. This is my third time asking, so I'm not blaming you. I'm assuming if I can't get this message through to you, then I just have to move on. It's flipped/fixed. There you go. Actually, no, that doesn't help me at all. How about instead of mirrored and unmirrored, we just say legible and unlegible writing. There you go. Sorry, it's the first draft. I didn't join until late. No, it's fine. So it's for like a prose kind of like a short story novel type thing, or is it more like something that you're gonna end up like illustrating as like a comic, is what I'm asking. So flipped is legible and mirror is unlegible. Yeah, in my mind that's what it is. It's a novel? Okay. Sorry, I got distracted by Miku jumping up behind me. Wait. Tiny cat. Take her. In my hand. Okay, so if it's a novel, then yeah, everything I was saying then before, if it's a novel, like the tense really needs to be sorted out, because it is kind of oscillating between them, which makes it kind of difficult to follow. And then with like the lots of like sentence fragments and stuff, and like I get that it's an early draft, so things aren't gonna be like perfect or whatever, but there's sometimes like really basic kind of issues like that makes it harder to talk about things like pace and talk about content, because it's like a lot more difficult to read. And so I think that's something that needs to be focused on like a little bit more. Like it doesn't have to be perfect, but it definitely needs like, I think what it is that with the tense of your writing, like it needs to be it needs to be like consistent enough that I know which one you're trying for, rather than like it's kind of like 50-50 and I'm not sure, because I find that that level of it is just kind of too distracting to fully like put myself into it. And what I find is that it's very script like in the way that it's written, and by that it there is kind of like a tendency for like the tense to shift between whether or not you're describing action or writing more actively. And like I think a lot of your description just needs to be more active and more present within your story, because everything a lot of it still feels kind of like an outline or like a script, like I was saying. Like they're kind of similar things. Can you give me a water? Or like a ginger ale or something? Thank you. My voice is dying. I talked about mirrors too long. Thank you. Okay. Hydration. Yeah, and I think you have a lot of really exciting things going on that you're chomping at the bit to share, because you've created like a really intricate world with all of these, like this whole pantheon and stuff, and it's cool. Like, and like I've heard about like I've read like the outlines and stuff, I think, and I know that all of this stuff is very cool. But you need to be able to like I'm changing this. You need to pull back and not share as much of it up front, because it is kind of like very much an info dump. And yeah, like as a prologue, it's very much like a info dump going on. Can you make her stop? Like it gets a little better like into the chapter 1. I think you start to focus in more on like characters and more on the scene. There's still kind of like issues with it, your writing being kind of pulled back, and especially like in your descriptions just kind of pulling away from things. I want to share what's happening with the gods, but I'm still chipping away at some of the less important info. Yeah, like it's really hard to pick a prologue stuff, and it's a lot easier to pull back later. So like I would just continue writing through, and just like the main change is like as you're writing, I would try and unpack things a lot more, and try and figure out what's important to unpack, and just kind of like get closer to your characters and your story, because it's good. Like you have like a good thing going, and like when you're in dialogue, I think you kind of get into it. you start getting into the vibe, of writing like an actual scene, but like then you pull away really fast within your prose. Yeah, I would like keep working on your story. I would do some more like just like general like exercises outside of like your main writing, and work on like just prose in general, like work on descriptive prose, because it'll be very helpful, because when you're writing a novel, like you have to do like a million things at once. Like you're dealing with like pace and prose and dialogue and all the structure things and plot and character, but taking some time to focus on just describing things, in a more active and personal way would help a lot with what you got going on. Yeah, that'd be my main advice to you, is just to work a little more like outside of this project on that, because like there's like the classic one of like you describe the room that you're in from like your perspective and you try and get like all 5 senses, right? And then you do it again, but do it from like a POV of like someone with like a specific profession or like a specific age, and try and get that across in your writing without ever having to mention it. And that's really helpful for creating like descriptive prose that has like character and does more lifting than just the quantitative details of your story, right? Yeah. I can never think of things like off the top of my head. I guess the one I can think of off the top of my head right now is that Madoka probably would describe the sun as being like a ball. The bright, unreachable ball in the sky. Because she is a dog, and that is what she lives for. Yeah. Like, you have a good story under here. I know you've worked on all of that detail, and I just really want you to be able to, like, express it. And, yeah. I think that's the main piece that you should be focusing on right now. All right. That's all. I did a great job. I'm a hero. It's Ursula's turn.
Hello. Hello all. My boy. Okay, let's see what we gotta do. Hello, Mal and Cypress and Rumpeltyltskyn and Valerie. Hello. Oh, goodbye there. Goodbye. He gone. Okay, let's see. Who would like to go first? Oh my goodness. Camera. So, Rumpel, my friend, you are here, and the only other art submission we have is from Kuroe. I don't know if Kuroe is here. I'm here. If no one else wants to, okay, let's go with yours first, and then if Kuroe arrives, we can look at their stuff. Okay. So the first one, so you have two images. So you're looking for kind of like general character stuff for these designs. They're from the same story that you submitted last time. That is, it's like a character who's like kidnapped by a cult, and then they have to like figure out the mystery and stuff. And this is the parents and family of the character that's like attacked by the cult. So this is their moms. This is his moms. And then these are like the uncles. And one is a genetic donor to the main character. Correct? Cool. Awesome. So yeah, I'd say with this first one, first of all, the characters look so cute. I love the hair textures on these two. I love how just like curly, Clarice's hair is. It's just got a really cute texture. I love the little strands of like white going through. And then versus like Phyllis's hair, which is a lot more like straight. Just really cute little differences. And there's lots of nice little details throughout the design. Like I love the kind of like dirt stains on Phyllis's pants. And like the the landscaping shirt. Versus like Clarice, who's wearing like jewelry and is dressed up a bit more fancy and is like a doctor. The other one's yellow. Oh yeah. I figured it was just like a scanning issue. But yeah, lots of just nice little kind of character details throughout. That kind of show their personalities through like how they're dressed and like their stance. Yeah, and I like just the little touches that make them like appear like older characters, like just little lines on their faces. Their bodies are a bit more kind of like, you know, what a middle-aged person tends to look like kind of thing. Yeah, lots of nice, just lovely little details. Good contrast with the colors on the characters, like, you know, red for Clarice and then green for Phyllis's clothes. That's just good contrast color-wise. I think I will also say, like, within each character, the colors work well, and there's pretty good contrast throughout as well, where I like how with Clarice you're bringing in a lot of like golds and reds and it's very warm, and you have some nice contrast with like the dark blazer and pants. And then for Phyllis it's very like earthy tones with like her skin's a bit darker, and like the brown eyes and the greens and stuff. It individually they mesh, the colors mesh well together. I also love the body language with the pose that you've drawn. It's very, very sweet. You can tell they're close. It's cute. I also, another small detail I like with Clarice's makeup, it just feels like, I don't know. You know, like moms who like grew up in the 80s. I don't know. Like in the 70s and 80s, they have that kind of makeup kind of thing. I just think it's cute. It's the blue eyeshadow that's doing it. I'm like, yeah, that's like an 80s mom. Yeah. Did you have any questions on these two? Was there anything that like you wanted, you had questions about that you wanted me to go into? I think you were asking about anatomy and stuff. The only thing I would say, anatomy-wise, for this image, I find their arms are a little bit short. Actually, I don't know if that's true. Any anatomy critique? Yeah. Yeah, actually, I think their arms are a little bit short. I used a ref with the thumb. Sorry, I'm lisping. I used a reference with this one. I hope it's pretty good. I think it is. It's really good. Like, the pose is great. I think there's... The only issue is I think their arms are a bit short. There's something about the arms that's, like, a little bit off. I'm not exactly sure if it's, like, a proportion thing or if it's, like, a... maybe they feel a bit stiff or something, but I think with Phyllis's arm, I feel like there'd be a bit more bend in the elbow. If her hand is in her front pocket like that. Because your hands, when they're like at your side, like just loose at your side, the hands kind of come, like the ends of the fingers kind of reach, not the middle of the thigh, like kind of near the bottom of the hip, like kind of around there. So I feel like there'd be a bit more bend here. It would be a bit more like a, not quite 90 degrees, but a little bit more. And the elbow would come out a little bit. Again, that depends on the character's body type. They might be someone who's got like a longer torso, but something to keep in mind. I'm not sure what it is. It's something I tend to struggle with a lot with arms. They are hard. They're silly guys. They're also both shorter people. That's fair. That's the thing. Like with Clarice, I find her arm feels very proportional. Like she seems like a shorter person. Yeah, but I think Phyllis's arm would be a little bit longer. And then I think maybe Clarice's forearm maybe feels a little bit short. Cause yeah, the end of her elbow would kind of land around her waist. And then I think the forearm got stunted just based on where the hand is, where I think maybe her upper arm needed to be kind of like over here a little bit more so that the forearm had more room to like reach the wrist. Possibly. It is really hard to get that stuff because it's a lot of like, it's like you have to have the shoulder and elbow placement down, and then there's like compression on the muscles and like perspective on the hand if it's like reaching back to like hold a hand on your shoulder kind of thing. It's really tough. It's something I still struggle with a lot when I'm drawing. Pay more attention to the arms in the future. I always feel like I'm making them too long or too short. I think trying to get the hand right made the arm a little short. Yeah, totally. I think you're right. It could also be, I don't know what size of paper you're working on. Something to look out for is stunting your drawings based on like the edge of the canvas. So like this can happen in traditional art or digital art, but sometimes when you reach the end of your canvas, you'll try to, I'm speaking you as generally, not you specifically, as in like people generally, not you. Something that will happen often is people will try to fit like the arm onto the page. They don't want it to fall off the page. Same with like if you have a character who's standing full body, sometimes like the legs will be too short because they'll be drawing and then they're like, oh, I don't want the feet to come off the page, so I'll just finish it here. And it can kind of mess with your proportions because you're trying to stay within like the confines of the canvas. So I'd recommend yeah, just being willing to go off the page. Sometimes it helps to maybe put, if you're working traditionally, like put a piece of paper underneath the one you're working on so that if you need to draw beyond the border of the canvas, like you still have that. And then in digital, you can just make your canvas bigger. But yeah, sometimes I find that happens where, and I do this too in my sketchbook when I'm drawing traditionally, is like limbs will sometimes get stunted because I'm like, no, I want it to be like on the page and I don't know what it looks like if it goes off the page. So that's something to keep in mind. When you're using a reference, the pose may technically be possible, but it won't look right or fluid, if that makes sense. Yeah, that can happen. That can happen. It can be hard to transfer over, even with reference. A separate question, do you think Phyllis's hair looks okay? I'm working on how I stylize drawing hair and struggling with the style a little. I really like it. That is one thing I noticed where I love the difference in texture between their hair. And I think it comes across well, where Phyllis feels like, I guess this is like you can measure if you got the texture down to what you wanted it to be, but Phyllis feels like she has like straight kind of shaggy hair, if that makes sense. Where Clarice is very like voluminous curly hair. Cause yeah, I like the small lines. I like the like separating out the locks even though they're short. And using that kind of triangle shape for her hair versus like you have these more kind of like curling waves for Clarice. I think it's a nice touch. Yeah, I really like the different texture that you used. Because it still feels like it's within the same style, but you're still showing like the different textures in the hair. Yeah. I can move on to the next one, unless you have any other questions on that one. Okay, so yeah, so this one you said the lighting is a bit yellowy because of the photo that was taken, and that's fine. I'll take that into consideration. Right. So, again, I love all the little details on these characters. So again, I'm reading like they are a couple, just based on the posing, but I love the, like for Laszlo, I love the little touches of gold through the design with like this little kind of like bird skull necklace, and then the little gold squares on the watch and the belt. No reference for this one. I'm pretty happy with the pose. I think you did a great job. It is really hard to get characters to like hold each other where there's like so much overlapping limbs and shapes and stuff, but I think you did a really good job here. Right. But yeah, but then on Edwin, there's some nice little like echoes of shapes going on in Edwin's design that I really like. I like how the shape of his beard kind of follows the shape of the moth, and then you also see it in like the elbow patch. And then there's also echoes in like the square shapes, like the pocket and the the squares on the jacket, and then the shape of the sunglasses and stuff. There's some nice little through lines there, and then Edwin's shapes are very like kind of square, if that makes sense. He seems to have like a very kind of square shape to the body. And then same with the face, and then the kind of general shape of the hair and stuff. So that's really nice shape stuff going on. Whereas Laszlo's a lot more like triangular and pointy. He's not like entirely triangular, but he's got like more of a taper to his jaw. His hair has like a bit of a triangle shape to it, and then there's like triangles through like the necklace and the shape of his shirt and stuff. Yeah, lots of nice just little details going on. I wasn't sure about the moth, if it was like a tie or a brooch or something. I was a little confused by it. I like it as part of the design, like it really works. It kind of brings the, like I said, the shapes together, but I wasn't really sure what it was. That's just something to note. Whereas like I could read Laszlo's like accessories as like a watch and a necklace. I find Edwin's color scheme comes together really well. Again, it's like a lot of like earthy colors, like the brown and green kind of like balance each other out. There's the same kind of like warm colors in his face and hair that really ties in with like the rest of his outfit. The moth is supposed to be a brooch, a gift from his sister. Oh, that's cute. I like that. Yeah, so Edwin's color scheme comes together really well. Very like earthy and nice, and it matches all together. Laszlo, I find like his head has a lot of different color going on, because you've got like the white hair, you've got like the kind of peachy skin, the red sunglasses, blue eyes, like bluey green. And then the rest of him is very like, it's not totally black and white, but you know, it's very like lots of blacks and gray, little pops of this gold that's like completely absent in his face. I guess you could make the same argument about Edwin, where there's like green going on through like the middle of his design, but he doesn't have any green in like his face. So that's something to consider. Yeah, where I think there needs to be just some kind of, whether it's you're bringing in like the blue or red throughout the rest of Laszlo's design, or toning down the colors like around his face. That's something to consider. I'd honestly bring the colors throughout, just because I think it would just balance things out. Pardon me, balance things out, but you still get to keep the cool accessories on his face. I really like Laszlo's hair. I think he did a good job with like, again, with the texture and shape. I like these little kind of like pull-out curls at his hairline. I would say with Edwin though, I find his hairline a little confusing. I think it just needs a bit more shape, like right here. Because there's some strands that are like coming down from the middle, but then some of it is like tucked under like a curl coming from the side. I think it just needs a bit more clarity if it's like does he have like a bit of a like bangs or a fringe that he's like tucking away, or are these like long strands that are like on his forehead? I think it just needs a bit more clarity with like where those strands are coming from. because the rest of his hair is very easy to read. I know at the time I was struggling on how to dress Laszlo. I was trying to reference something with Edwin's hair, but I struggled a lot. The picture was confusing. Fair. Yeah, it can be hard because hair is so, it goes everywhere. Sometimes it can be hard to parse. Yeah, because I think you could easily change it, whether it's like maybe some, like kind of like my hair, like I've got a bit of a cowlick where it kind of comes up a little bit before it kind of like falls. So you could do that if you want to show like it's all long hair and it kind of comes, like he tucks it behind his ear and there's like a piece of hair that comes over it. Or if he does have like shorter hair, I think it just needs more room to show. And then anatomy wise, so I think you did the pose really well. There's lots of good like overlap. It shows a lot of character in their posing and their expressions. I think anatomy wise, the only thing that is really like standing out to me is Laszlo's arm that's around Edwin, where I think his shoulder kind of disappears, where I think there'd be a bit more of a rise in this shoulder. Like I think you'd see it kind of like up here, because his whole shoulder has to go on top of Edwin. So like you may have to lower this shoulder so it's a bit of an angle like that. And then I think I'd have to look at reference because this is something I struggle with too, but I think his elbow would be going back like this, and he'd have an arm around Edwin's, like a hand around Edwin's shoulder instead of like the whole forearm. Possibly. Hard to tell. Where yeah, instead of having because there's a little, I see you're doing like a little bit of the elbow going back, like a little bit of that foreshortening. But I think the elbow would probably be maybe up here behind Edwin's head more, or pulled back more, something like that. And I think it's creating like a bit of like a, it's squishing the forearm, I think, because the position is kind of like pulled in tight to Edwin. So yeah, so it's making this arm feel a little bit squat. I think the shoulder would be raised. But otherwise, I think it's pretty good. There's some good like overlap where you see like Laszlo's torso twisting a little bit to like put the arm over. And I like how his hips are a bit turned because, you know, he'd be kind of pulled this way. And then same with Edwin where he's like tucked under Laszlo's arm and then he's got his hand on his stomach. Like, I think that's posed really well. The only other thing is I think Laszlo's other arm is a bit short at the elbow. I think it would be down farther. Same as like what I talked about with the last picture. Same kind of thing of the arms feeling a bit stunted. But they work well on Edwin, and I think it's because you didn't have to worry about it hitting the edge of the page kind of thing. I would also say I think Laszlo's jaw is tucked in a little bit too much. I think it would be more of a straight line here, and the edge of his jaw, like the hinge of it, would be a bit further back. Based on this angle. It feels a little bit like concave here. Hopefully that makes sense. Did you have any questions about it? Was there anything you wanted to ask about what I was saying, or anything I didn't cover? I think that's an edge of the page thing. Yeah. I do that as well. Don't you worry. That's pretty good. No real questions? Awesome. Well, thank you for submitting. Cool. Is Kuroe here? Kuroe, my friend? Are you here? Are you here? If not, I'll just jump in. Okay. So you had, right, so you submitted characters last week that were triplets who were like military agents or something for your story. Right, and these are more characters from the same story. And they are love interests of the triplets. Okay, so you want general critique and perceived personalities. Okay, so I'll start with the personalities, because that's always fun. Okay, Dr. High Time, bless. Okay, Dr. Time, seems very, like, that kind of smarmy playboy, archetype, where he's very, like, cracking jokes, kind of wry style of speaking, kind of like if he has trauma or like is uncomfortable, I feel like he plays it off with humor and he kind of thinks he's like hot stuff. Like kind of maybe comes across as arrogant, but is like also very charming. I think it's that kind of archetype where it's like humor is a defense mechanism. That's the vibe I get. I love his cleavage going on. That's very lovely. Yeah, he feels like a flirt to me. And he's a doctor. So he's gotta be smart, right? So that's the vibe I get from Dr. Time. And then we have Close Ning. Who looks very proper, very dapper. I feel like Close is very, like, cheerful. Like, he seems very, I love his hair, by the way. He feels very, like, kind of bubbly and charming and, always has something cute to say. And I feel like he's very, like very precise, like very good at what he does. Like he's always like on point with everything. He's like never late. He's never, like, his work is always done before it's expected to be done. He just like gives that like type A personality, but not like an uptight type A. Just very like neat and tidy and like kind of smooth and funny and cute while he does it, you know? That vibe. And then we have Firm Tower, who's a photographer. Okay, so Firm feels very cheerful, almost. Maybe like kind of like maybe a bit naive, kind of like he has like a gentleness to him, but he also seems like, just from the pose, he feels very like kind of eager and bubbly, like maybe a bit like a puppy dog kind of type personality. But like also just kind of more reserved and gentle is like the vibe I get from like the face. So yeah, so that's the vibes I get from them. I hope that helps you with your characterization. Okay, for general design stuff. So I think, because I remember the last designs, like the colors were very like kind of gold, yellow, and then some like grays and blacks and stuff. Hopefully I'm recalling that. So I like how warm their colors are. I think especially with Firm and Time, there's some very good like harmonies in colors between them and and their love interests, the main characters, where I think they'd fit in well. And even though they have some different colors, like Time has like the kind of blue in the eyes and the shirt, and then Firm has maybe some like grays and kind of like purpley colors going on, like it still matches with the team colors. There's still that warm kind of gold color to like the browns on close, like in the clothing and his skin. I'm wondering if the green is a bit too much of a contrast. It depends on like the role in the story. But considering the other characters, like their colors are all so close, I wonder if you want to bring some more yellow into that green so it's a bit more like an olivey green almost. Because this is a bit kind of like lime green where there's still some blue in it, but like bringing it to that more yellowy side might really help with kind of bringing the colors together, because then you could keep the green, which I think is a good like differentiator for this character, but I think it clashes too much with like the warmth of the browns and then the color scheme of the other characters. But again, that depends on the role in the story. Maybe I don't know if he's a villain, but you know, if he's supposed to clash with the character, maybe having a high contrast, it works really well to kind of like illustrate that in the story. Up to you. But then, okay, so I'll start with time and go into the individual character. So I think there's some good contrast going on. I like that his like hair and skin, they're very, like it's very much the same hue. It's the same kind of like warm yellowy brown. Just darker. So there's good contrast between like the hair and the skin and then the shirt, all the different parts of the character. I'd like to see just more details on him character-wise, like because don't get me wrong, like, you know, if you're a doctor, you're gonna be wearing just like slacks and a button-up shirt. But I'd love to see just maybe like some accessories. Like it's interesting that he wears everything kind of like loose, like his shirt is open. That is a statement. And he doesn't tuck in his shirt. But yeah, I think I'd just like to see like a little bit more detail on him somewhere, whether that's like he wears a watch or like maybe, you know, if his shirt had a pocket, maybe there was something on it, or some like, I don't know what it would be, like maybe, like an employee pass badge or something. I'm not sure what it would be, but I think he just needs like a touch more for like individual accessories or detailing. Yeah, because it doesn't have to be accessories. It could be like details on the clothes or something. But yeah, he just feels a little bit plain. And I'd love to see more that kind of like shows his personality and stuff, because there's lots of like, there's good little textures on clothes. And there's great textures on like Firm, where Dr. Time just feels a little plain. Yeah, so that would be my only critique on him. As for clothes, like I said, I love all the little details on him, even just like little fold stripes on his pants and on the vest, I think really work. I think what also helps with his design, and he's very high contrast, where you've got this like very light shirt and then very dark clothing, and there's great contrast between like his skin and the bright shirt. And like his eyes really pop against his skin color. I think there could be a bit more contrast between, it's hard because when you're wearing like a vest and slacks and stuff, or like a blazer, like generally they're all the same color, so you might need something to differentiate them, but I think I would like to see like a little more contrast between the different pieces somehow. But I love the contrast between like the vest and the shirt, for example. And I'd also be careful of his skin and hair. You may want to darken his hair, just because I think it's a little bit close in value, but I like the idea of it. I also love the shape of his hair. And I also like the difference in the silhouettes between these characters, as well, where like Time has very like kind of like ruffled, pointy hair, and then Close, like I like how there's like a bit of a wave in his hair, but it's still like so neat and tidy in comparison. And then just the difference between like the cut of their pants, for example, where it just close wearing kind of like pencil fit skinny kind of pants versus like these more loose slacks on Time. It feels like it embellishes their character, where Close feels very like neat and tucked and tidy, and then Time feels like a bit more loose, just from like the fit of their clothes. I think that's really nice. That's a really good touch. And then for Firm, yeah, Firm feels a lot more casual, like more civilian clothing, where, yeah, I think there's really good contrast between the different pieces. I think the pants and hair that are that kind of like darker gold color, they pop really well against like the duller color of the skin. And then the eyes really pop because they're darker as well. And then I like how you're breaking up things by using this like gray purpley color for like the shoes and the shirt. Yeah, I like the clothing because it feels very like more fashion focused rather than like wearing like proper work attire. I mean, like, he's a photographer, so he gets to be a bit more fashionable and casual. But yeah, but I like the difference where it's very, he feels like he cares about what he wears. He's not just throwing on a t-shirt. He's wearing like a nice kind of sleeveless hoodie kind of vest thing, which I think says a lot about his character and caring about his appearance and stuff. But it's still nice and simple, but it shows a lot of character, if that makes sense. Yeah, and I like the kind of soft circle kind of shape. Like, it's very exemplified in the texture on the shirt, but I like how it really matches like the eye shape and the hair shape. I'd like to see it a little bit more through the pants somehow. Maybe that's through like a shoe that maybe has like a tongue that's kind of like this kind of seashell shape. Something like that could be brought through a little bit more, but otherwise I think it looks great. Yeah, I think that's it. Kuroe, if you see this, please let me know if you have any questions. I'd be happy to answer them. Hello. Hi, little lamb. How are you? Yeah. So I'll double check, but I think that may be everything this week. It was a very quiet week. Or month, I guess. I'm fine. How are you today? I'm good. Glad you're doing fine. Yeah. So, I think that's it. I think we're gonna head out. It was very, very quick today. If you are watching this and you would like to have your work critiqued, whether that's prose, whether that's comic scripts, whether that's character designs, setting designs, comic pages, we look at comic thumbnails, finished pages, whatever stage you're at, we can look at it. So if you're interested in us looking at your stuff next month, because we do this monthly, you can sign up for our Patreon. There should be a link in the description, and all the info you need will be there. And we can look at your stuff and give you feedback, and hopefully folks find it helpful. Consider it if you're looking for critique stuff getting done. And otherwise, thank you all for watching. We really appreciate it. Okay, I'm gonna head out. Goodbye. Mwah.